Hello, good evening, welcome to Easy 8's Online Painting Club. My name's Danny, it says it right down there at the bottom of the screen. I hope you find me well, I hope you can hear me, I hope you can see me, because about 30 seconds before I went live I did that thing that I always do, and I played with something, and I played with my audio, and I'm not entirely sure if everything's working very well, because my audio went weird in my headphones, so I changed the USB port, and then I couldn't hear anything, and now I can hear some stuff, but very, very faintly in the background. So I hope that you can hear me okay, and I hope you can hear the music well enough, and I hope you've been well this week. The heat, again, in the studio here, is getting too much to bear, so I'm doing what Stafford recommended last year in the heat wave, which is have a bucket of cold water with my feet in it. So I had a few minutes of just being like, oh, very, very cold, and that's keeping my temperature down. Jeff and Staff both in the live chat, both saying that they can see and hear me fine, which is great. Well, that's absolutely fantastic. That's as long as you can hear me and see me, the rest doesn't matter. Anyway, if you're new here on Easy 8, this is not a tutorial show or anything like that. There's loads of stuff out there like that already on YouTube. Go and find them. There's some wonderful people out there. This is basically a painting club, as the title might suggest. Somewhere where you can come and bring your models, get them painted, and join in live with people like these guys over here, and hopefully a few more as the show goes on. And me as well, painting my stuff. I'm not a great painter or a great live streamer or anything like that at all, but it's just a nice place to bring people together and kind of do the hobby together, because that's what it's all about, right? Making friends and painting stuff. So for the next 2 hours, I can promise you that I will be here painting, at least to a semi-decent degree, hopefully. I feel like I've been really dragging this project on a little bit, but I've just had no time or desire over the last couple of weeks to be painting in and around the show. In between the show. Just because I've either been busy or it's been hot, or I've been just trying to make the most of the nice weather and go and see my partner. And we're both very, very busy at the moment. We don't get to see each other as much as we would like to. So that's why I think that's the blame I'm going to put on not having my miniature painted sooner. But I am really, really happy with the progress. So that's great. I'm just going to be carrying on today the best I possibly can. If you've got a project on this evening, I would absolutely love to know what it is. I'm not just saying that to get the likes or anything like that at all. I genuinely would like to know. So if you are painting something this evening, let me know. You can drop a picture of it if you like. You can stick it over at Facebook. There's the Facebook. Pointed to the right one today. We're over at Facebook. We're on Instagram. We're on here on YouTube, obviously. And we're also on Discord. And you can come and join me on Discord at the Easy 8 after party after the show if you fancy doing that, because I'm a pretty swell guy. Yay. Just before the show went live, about half an hour, my dad, who is Jeff, just over there, hi, said that last week we got to 100 subscribers. Yeah, fantastic milestone. 103 now, and ever since then, he's been able to see more stuff in the description just down there on your screen. Now, I've been doing that since day one. 3 years ago, during the pandemic, is when I started this show. I've been putting all sorts of information down there, links to all the platforms for Easy 8, lots of links to different businesses, other YouTube channels, Facebook pages, websites, of all the stuff of people who I appreciate and enjoy the work that they do. It might be people who sell things or make things, and apparently that may have never been visible. I don't know, because it's always visible to me, because I suppose I'm the guy that writes it. So apparently, since we've had 100 subscribers, apparently that's now visible. I wonder if you guys have had a similar experience, or if it was just something that was being missed. I'm unsure. I'd love to know. So if you've got any feedback, let me know, because how I understand the show works makes me, make the show a little bit better. Anyway, if you like what we do here at Easy 8, please do consider sharing and subscribing. Gets the name out there, and hopefully more and more people will find Easy 8, and if it's for them, they'll hit the subscribe button too. What really helps, this is a new one, push that little thumbs up button down there for me. Do that, that'd be great, because that will share it to more and more people, and then more and more people can come along and decide whether Easy 8 is a place that they want to stick around for, or maybe they don't, and that's absolutely fine too. But they should do, because I'm nice and lonely. Good cue on the music there, huh? Now, my broadcasting software, or my live streaming software, has seen fit to put this wonderful little heart icon right over the live chat, and I can't move it. I clicked on it a minute ago and it went, you can't do that. I'm like, oh, why is it even there? And it's actually right over some of the words that you guys are writing. I'm going to try and move the screen around a little bit It's not letting me see. It's never been there before. It's like a little way of interacting with the live chat, but I can't do anything with it. So sometimes I might not be able to read what it is that you're writing. Jeff has put, guess what in... I'm still working on. So the I'm bit was covered up by that stupid little heart. Guess what I'm still working on? Is it bocage by any chance? Would love to see a photo. Link it over on Facebook. That would be absolutely fantastic. Links to all the descriptions link to all our platforms in the description down there, which hopefully everyone can see now. We've got 100 plus subscribers. 100 plus subscribers. Thank you so much. Anyway, without further ado, I'm going to head on over to the workbench and crack on with my project. I hope you have a good evening. Here we go. And of course, it's a Friday, so cup of tea time. It's the adult drinks in the second half, right? I know it is like 30 degrees, but there's always space for a hot cup of tea. So, here is my little dude, this little guy here. As you can see, I've been doing loads of weathering all over him. He's got just a little bit left to do. On Discord last week, I went and joined a few people who came and met me at the end of the show, and I was trying to get all the edges and the little patinas, if you want to call it that. I was trying to get that finished at the end of last week, but I just got a little bit burnt out from it. It was a little bit too much, so I've just got the bottom part of this leg here to do that pattern effect. Then I'm going to go over it with the sponge, which I've got just here, and then hopefully just kind of bring that weathered effect to life. And then it's on to just matching in with a little bit of silver, just here and there. Stafford says, I'm painting tracks. So many tracks. Yeah, man, tank tracks. I feel your pain, man, because I've got a whole load of tanks that need their tracks painting that I'm fairly certain I'm subconsciously avoiding. So, yeah, well, I'm going to get stuck into this right now. So, I've got a bit of a beard lately. I've been that busy that I've just not shaved. It sounds embarrassing and ridiculous, but that's just the way it is. So, yeah, I'm all a little bit rough on the face today. Scallion TV, evening all, painting rocks for Frostgrave again. Fantastic. Joined Scallion TV at the end of last week on Discord to see these rocks. Fantastic effort, by the way. Right, I'm just going to stick this little tub of paint on the Easy 8 Wazomatic because it needs it, I suppose. It's been I only use it a little bit here and there, just once every week. Give it a good old shake. I've been told that the Wazomatic now sounds really intense on the new microphone. There we go. Wazomatic. We haven't done that for a little while, have we? Yeah, no pics. No pics of the full build until it's done. Yeah, okay, that's fair. Is that a customer thing, or is it just because you've got so much you just don't want to be moving it all around? Which I also understand too. Paint's all blocked up. Let's just peel that little paint cap off there. There we go. Got a little dollop just down there. Now it is 1,000,000 degrees here in the studio, so that might dry up quite quickly. But last week I was, just putting a little bit of water in there, a little bit of paint retarder as well, just to help slow down the drying process. But I've only got a little bit left to go, so I wonder if I can just get away with a little bit of water, even though they're really smooth paints anyway, really thin because they're airbrush paints. It does help to have a little bit of water in there just to help them transfer off the bristles, really. Okay, here we go. So I've done this leg all the way down. I just need to do this leg here, and I've done this little thigh piece here, the top of the hip. I've done the front of the knee. I started working my way around the side of the knee here, down the back, as you can see there. Was it? It just comes on for that, you know. I think I need to do the inside of the leg a little. Yeah, I've done a little bit, so I need to do in there and on the back here as well. And on obviously I need to. Oh, I've done the toes, if you want to call them toes, the feet. So I obviously saw fit to do that little bit. So what I'm going to do, always start off nice and gentle. I don't want to rush into it because that's how I get a bit carried away. So I'm just going to make sure that I'm in shot. Just going to start down the bottom here, and then just gently work my way along. Now you can see that there's like some sort of, if you can see that well enough, there's like a big brown pattern at the bottom here. That's actually left over from the washing with the Seraphim Sepia, which I don't sludge wash, but I do kind of let it run around a little bit more than, you know, I'm not so delicate with it. And it does leave a little bit of patterning along the line. And sometimes it just helps. That's just, oh, you're already making mistakes. That's just free effort there, you know. So nice having a big bucket of cold water. Is your studio hotter than the granny's living room? Oh mate, it is. It's not even that hot outside. It's certainly hotter last year. And I have to say that as I'm getting a bit older, I'm also getting a bit fuller in the waist region. I don't fit the shirt so much anymore. That doesn't help, you know. Of course, I could lose the shirt and just go down to a t-shirt, but that would break my uniform code. So, yeah, glutton for punishment and looking good. Just coming down underneath here because it's a three-dimensional object and there's undercrofts and overhangs and all sorts, and I'll make sure that I get this pattern effect on every surface that it needs to be. Like I said last week, or the week before, if I don't, it looks rubbish. And it doesn't take an awful lot of effort, you know, to actually get quite good results. I'm just going to add a little bit of water. I don't know what's going on with my audio. It's a bit weird because I can still hear it, but it all just sounds a little distant. All my levels are all the same. I've done something, haven't I? Feels weird. Normally I've got music blaring away and it's a little bit of a distraction, but now I can just really hear the room that I'm in, and that's a bit uncomfortable. As I'm going with this pattern effect, I'm just trying to make it random and just every now and again just veering off a little bit rather than keeping it all in, you know, neat straight lines. Occasionally just following the urge to just wander off a little bit. That is literally the story of my life as well. He who wanders off. There we go. Just going to match it up to the other one just to see what I've done differently. So on this one, for some reason I've done like a little line that kind of goes down the back of the calves here. On the other one I haven't done that, so maybe these two robots do different things to kind of get weathering differently. I don't know. Making excuses for them now. Don't fart, it'll echo. I don't fart. Just listen to the voices in your head. No, their ideas are far too fun. That's how crimes happen. Just kidding. Or am I? Okay, so just bring a light in here. It's a little bit hard to see in here. Just want to come across the top of the back of the leg here, just around this little bit. And then what I have done on both of the robots is like on the sides, on the back of the sides of the calf. It's very weird to explain what I'm talking about. I've done this little line down here. I don't know why. Just looked like it would be an area that would have some wear. So I'm quite keen to make that consistent across both robots. That one went on pretty quickly, that's good. Yeah, that looks nice. Trying to add some random pattern to it all. Okay. Again, just going to compare a little bit. Don't listen to the voices. The world's not ready for that yet. No, it's not. So, just at the bottom here. Wandering off a little bit, aren't I? Let's just get a little bit of weathering down here. Just a little bit. What I'm doing now is just kind of doing irregular zigzags with the paint. That's nice, that's looking good. I'll do some along this side here. And then just across the bottom of this area here, I believe is called a greave. I'm bringing my armour knowledge in, but the front of the shin here, if you like. And I'm just going to, just under the bottom there, where it might rub against the foot, the shoe. There we go. That's looking pretty good. I like that. Like I said, I wanted to keep it a little bit gentler, for lack of a better term. Ease off the weathering as so much as I did on the other one, because on that one I did go a little bit crazy in some places. Just a tiny little bit left now, really. These big round bits on the ankles, to me, they seem like the prime area for scuffing and wearing and tearing, so I like to make sure that I bring a bit of attention to the detail here. Just kind of randomly, quite crudely, just make some brush strokes. And then just on the edges. Ooh, a bit too hard there, but that's alright. A bit of water to the paint mix. Guys, we'll be attempting to paint a crater later. Thanks, Jeff. Any suggestions, as I've never painted a crater before? Yeah, use crater colours. Can't argue with that sense. suppose if you wait for Dave to show up, because over the last few weeks he's been painting trenches and he's got a really good recipe for painting soil and earth and stuff, so maybe you get some good advice from him, some good tips. For me, I just would spray it brown and just do lots of staining, lots of different, like, darker browns, lighter browns, blacks and things like that. A little bit of dry brushing, maybe pick out some stones if you've got stones in it. And you just have a bit of fun, just kind of, explore paints basically. Oh, there's something in my eye, that's quite uncomfortable. There we go, get rid of that. Again, just going to compare against the other robot. It's looking pretty mean. So on this one here, I've done some weathering down the sides of these panels. I've done it on both the inside and the outside, but I haven't done it on the other leg, so I'll do a little bit over there. I think that's it kind of done, really. I haven't done anything under the knee. Occasionally I like to take a corner and just go a little bit further with it. So here, underneath the knee, it kind of scoops up like a semicircle underneath the knee, and it kicks back into, or just over here, and goes down. But this little corner here, I'm going to just fill it a little bit more, just to bring a little bit of variation to the weathering. So my skylight window is open, and there is a pigeon right outside. So yeah, you might hear that. Sorry. we are in the roof here of my house. Scanning TV says, another opportunity for those pigments you don't have, staff. Yes, I suppose. I struggle with them. I really want them to work for me, but I really struggle. Tiniest little panel line there, really, rather than running it in the groove and kind of filling up that. I've already done that with a wash, just kind of going down the sides, because it's the edges of panels that would receive a bit of wear, I suppose. If you were taking them off and putting them back on again to maybe do some sort of maintenance or whatever, you'd kind of you'd get wear and tear, wouldn't you? Just fill in the occasional corner, just exacerbating some of the weathering. Picking out the areas that I think would take a bit more of a beating. I think that's all that sort of weathering done. This collar here, in some places, seems a little bit brighter than what I'd want it, and it kind of goes up around the back as well. And I can try and get the sponge in some of these places as well, but sometimes the sponge can be quite hard to use, especially in smaller areas like this. But it is the sponge that I'm going to try. Right, well, that's a nice little section completed. Put that over there. Let's go back to using this bad boy. I want that painted area of the sponge is quite crispy, so it might not be any good, but I'm going to give it a go. See the sort of pattern it leaves? It's quite good, isn't it? So So maybe a crispy sponge is what I need. So I've done a lot of the areas already. As you can see on the chest, I've already done quite a bit over there. So I'm just going to try and get that collar a little bit. What's going to happen is it's going to hit the edge that I've already painted. And it's going to bring a little bit more natural patterning, patinaing, whatever the action verb that is. It basically enhancing the paintwork. Some grumble, right? Trying to get some in the back of the collar there, but it's a little tough. So I won't fuss too much. Okay, down to the legs. Let's start on the back of the calf here. Not having to go bonkers crazy. Like I say, I want to be a little bit more subtle. Just a little bit. Dan, you need a new soundtrack. This one's wearing thin. Do you not like the music anymore? Do you know what? I will work hard to create a new playlist for you. Oops. A bit sponge. I think crispy wasn't working well for me. Can I get a bit more paint in the palette here? Fresh paint always makes it go a bit further. Right, here we go. All I do is I just find, just by dabbing it, I find like an area that it likes to contact in, and then I just repeat it a few times and see if I can just get like a little bit of a build up or a little bit of a scaling pattern. And yeah, sometimes it just kind of all comes together, other times it doesn't. I just have to reposition the sponge a little bit and just make the most out of it. I find this a little tricky because you don't want to go in too heavy, because as soon as you do, you ruin everything. So you really have to be patient and just let it do its thing, and it builds up. Sometimes when things are looking good and you want it to look even better, patience is the last thing that I have. I can see Stafford there saying, "Don't change it, please. My Friday night tune. A happy place." Would you be happy if I put it to a poll on Facebook? Would that be okay? Just heard it like a squillion times. Not jazz though. I like jazz. Okay. In fear of going too far with the weathering on the leg here, that's enough, I think. My light is bleaching it all out a little bit. Yeah, that's a bit better, isn't it? That's pretty cool. That's alright. You will, maybe you'll notice, maybe you won't, maybe you have to change the setting on your little YouTube video player there, but this week we should be streaming in 1080p. So yay! When I did a little video test during the week, I had to change the setting down in the bottom line there with the little cog, setting cog. and change the video from 720, which is what I usually stream in, to 1080. I had changed it months and months and months ago, but for some reason it reset and I only just noticed it. So yeah, you might be able to get slightly better quality. Who knows? I think this piece of sponge just might be a little bit dead now. I'm just going to persist with it just for a little bit more. And yeah, if it doesn't like to carry on working, just change the piece. However, don't need to do an awful lot more with the sponge. I'm quite happy with where it's at. I just kind of wanted to add a little bit more sort of random variety. And a sponge is a great way of doing that. And then just in there, that's a bit better. Oh, there's a little bit. Found where the paint is in the sponge. Do you know what? I am actually quite happy with how it's come out. It's alright. Quite like it. Right. Do you know what? Just in the interest of moving on, let's move on. Yay, now in glorious HD. Yeah, I think 1080 is considered HD, isn't it? But it's not like 4K or anything like that. No need for it, is there? I don't know. Happy tea day. So, still got the hands to do, but I'm going to tackle those later on. What I'm really interested in doing now is doing something a little bit different than painting brown rust, which is getting on with some silver, which is going to be really exciting. When I say really exciting, it's as exciting as silver paint is. Here is my silver. Chainmail silver, as always. I'll just change the part of the palette that I'm using. And I'm just going to go in very, very gentle with this. I don't want to have a massive effect of it, apart from in the areas where I've made it like he's got loads more damage. So for example, on the edges of the shoulders, I'll do a little bit of heavier silver there. Yeah. When I get around to doing the weathering on the hands, I'll do the big knuckle scrapes. So as you can see on this bad boy, see he's got quite shiny knuckles, because you know that would be the areas that he's probably smashing things into. There are some heavier bits of weathering, for example here on the chest there, and I'll just do like a little bit of speckling in there as well. But otherwise, he does look a little bit tamer in terms of the damage when you compare him to his brother here. Not so damaged, right? Looks a little bit nicer, a little bit neater. Quite like it. Right. I'm actually thinking I'll go down to my slightly smaller brush so that I end up with slightly smaller effects. Right, a little bit of water into the silver. Silver will really stand out. I only want to use a little bit here. Here we go. So, I think I'll start in the areas that I always start in, which will be on the, I suppose, the left pec. Don't know why I started here, but it's just where I seem to be doing so. I'm just going to work down a little bit of this edge here, just make sure that I'm in shot again. Just going to pick out just some of the edge. Not masses of it though. I'll try and rub off quite a bit of that off the brush. I'm just going to do a little bit of edge highlighting in some places. Really, really gentle. The more gentle I am, the more subtle it'll look. Subtle is definitely something I want on this. That looks really cool already. I hope you can see that. Any advice on painting stone walls? Actually, yes. Oh, here comes the advice. I am rubbish at painting stone walls. I have a feeling that this might take me a little while, so as a quick test I'm going to change out from this piece of sponge here. I'm going to get a new piece. Here's a new piece. I'm just going to have a go at the sponge effect, but even more gentle or rough. Dollop of silver on the sponge there, but just work that away just by kind of just patting through it. Okay. Pick up the individual stones with a wide range of earth tones. Dry brush with a sand colour. Thank you. Never occurred to me to base coat black. I missed all that bit. Base coat black over brush dark grey. Then pick out individual stones. Nice idea. Then wash with a brown, black, and green in a patchy leopard spot fashion. Fascinating. Someone was telling me a little while ago that purple is a good colour to use in background grey stones, like for railway ballast. I'll get around to that at some point in the future. Ah yes, the sponge effect, much faster. Actually just using sweeping motions now with the sponge just to try and match the marks that I've done on the shoulder there. Not going too heavy with the whole silver, just where I see heavier patches of rust basically. Still takes a little bit of control, a bit of self-control. go. Got a cat hair on it, of course. What would the show be without a cat hair? Starting to look pretty good. More cat hairs, of course. Just go a little bit heavier here on the chest, just to bring a little bit of interest, a bit of focus to that area. And while he's getting busier, he's nowhere near as busy as the other guy, so you see there's quite a lot of detail now starting to come out in that chest, looking really, really good. And I suppose you could criticise me for saying, well, you weren't going to go over the top, but when I compare it to the other one, you can see that actually it's a lot tamer. Chuff with it. Proper chuffed. Now onto the back over here, a little bit of extra damage, things in there. Try and keep it limited really, don't want to go over the top with the silver. Might hand paint quite a lot of that in there. Let's go back to the brush for a minute. Oh, what do you want to do? A cup of tea. When I come back to these shoulders here, we've got all this damage going on over here. That's kind of cool. I do need a bit more silver. I've absorbed quite a lot of that up in the sponge. Let's get some more in there. There we go. Let's get some water in that mix. Water makes it so much easier to use. is, that's looking good. Awesome. Looks cool. What does everybody think so far? Looking good, right? I like it. Just do just a little bit at the top up here. And I'm just working around the back of the collar here. Okay, some of the areas that I just wanted to go in by hand because they're a little bit difficult by brush. Just picking out some of the areas. Well, yeah, this shoulder's going to be moving all the time, right? So in my mind, I think he would be taking more scrapes and things there than probably anywhere else just by moving around. That's kind of cool. I like that. A bit more rust going in over here, so I'll just maybe went a bit too heavy there. Cobbaton might have a ton more rail track to paint up. Fancy a job? No. I mean, sure, I'd help you out, but can't promise it will be done anytime soon. Work is busy, and tracks are boring, but you know, if you really need my help, I'll give it the best shot that I possibly can. Of course, I can get quite a lot of the heavy work done by using my airbrush. It's the sleepers, man. It's the sleepers that take the time. Crazy. Oh, what was I doing? Just be washing up that little bit that I just put in, hadn't I? Just in there. A bit too heavy. It seems to be drying. Do you know what? I'm going to leave it. Okay. Here's what it is. A little bit on this shoulder here. Oops, a bit too heavy again. Crikey, going in really, really heavy there. I don't know why. Gentle, gentle. I like to concentrate the brush strokes just at that bottom edge there. Just follow the pattern where the rust has been going. Because the rust, again, in the little story in my head, is more about the constant wear and tear. It sits idle for a little while, it gets corroded, comes back, does another mission, does the same sort of routines again, gets similar sort of damage. Some of that corrodes, so it's just about wearing and wearing over the same spots, you know. Maybe some new patches here and there, starting as it goes on. Looks good. I like it. I think I need to go back to the sponge for a little bit. What I'm going to do, I think I'm going to add a bit of water to that paint. I think it might be going in the sponge a little thick. If I water it down, it might be a little bit easier to get weathering patterns. Don't know how much yet, but it's for a 12-foot table. Sounds like you're going to have about 12 foot of rail track, doesn't it? Yeah, I'd be more than happy to help out. I just work is busy, and I don't know if I'll be able to dedicate an awful lot of time to it, but I will have a chat and we'll sort something out. Peel that little bit off over there because it seems to be quite difficult to get the pointier bit of the sponge into some of those areas. When you see the pros on YouTube doing all the weathering, they make it look so easy and so fast, don't they? Well, it's not. Loads of water. Palette seems to be making it that little bit better. Thick gloopy paint. Okay, let's give that a try. Shoulder here, I think would be a good test spot for that viscosity of paint. Okay, that looks like it's pretty good. If I get him under the arms in here. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. That's perfect. Front of the old cod piece. Nice bot, nice robot bot. Oh, just throw him on the floor. Now on his other pieces, just focusing this on some of that heavier rusting again. Resisting that temptation to go too crazy. There's a little bit up there that I can do that I probably missed. Let's get some in there. Better. Just repetitive dabs. Building up, building up, building up. Hard work. Dave Lester's joined us. Staff, I have Stonewall Grey you could use. Hi Dave. How you doing, mate? Thanks for coming along. Bum, I do not appear to own grey paint after all these years. Got loads of it here as well. Just comparing again this robot over here. I haven't gone too crazy on the legs with the silver, just in some places. So I need to ease off a little bit. Probably went a bit too far just on that little section just here. So I'm gonna evening. Just gonna ease back a little bit there. No need to go crazy, right? But we are getting to that point of the show. We're probably already there, really, aren't we? At that time for a little bit of a break, which is going to be good. I could just do with going out of the room for a minute and just cooling down. Although I have to say it is getting cooler outside. I can feel it. Oh, hello. There's a moth. Or some sort of weird creature. Mini beast. Hello. Go away. Windows open, right? Got lights on in the studio. It's a much better sponge than I normally have got. Dab that off into some tissue. That's a bit easier. That's giving some much better effects than what I was getting a minute ago. Just trying to be very, very gentle. It's like I'm just kind of getting some like little burring bits in there. Tiny little flecks. No real patterning to them, which is absolutely brilliant. Bit heavy there. Take it easy. I'm just going to wash that down actually with a brush. In some places it goes on a little bit too heavy, looks a little bit rubbish. Heat of this room, that will dry quite quickly. There we go. Okay, for future, really wet paint works very well for weathering. Remember that in the future. Remind me the next time I do some weathering like this. Really wet paint. I think I'm just going to do some little bit of this weathering just on his head as well. So just up here, but I'm going to do that after a bit of a break because it is 8 o'clock already, and normally we've already started our break by now, and it's time just to kind of just to have a little bit of a go stretch my legs, etc. I can see that Mike is leaving us. Staff mix black and white. Okay, gang, my work here is done. Time to fly. Thanks for emceeing, Dan. Adios. No troubles. Have a good week. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming along. Stay safe and have a great time this week. Yeah, I'll be right back after this short break. In the meantime, you should definitely go and change your paint water. See you shortly. Bye bye. welcome back. Hope you had a nice break. I took the opportunity to go downstairs, cool off a little bit, go and get myself a drink for the adults. This week, clementine juice and vodka. Don't drink orange juice, it's far too bitter. Clementine juice is the way forwards. It's much more orangey orange, and it's a nice drink. Add vodka to it, and it's 10 times better. Cheers. Oh, strong drink because it's a Friday, right? Anyway, project's going really well. It's a weathering part of the project. It's gonna take time. It's gonna add a timestamp onto it. I'm a little slower than most painters. I get it. I feel like I'm holding myself up. I feel like I'm just showing you the same stuff every week, and I apologise for that. But it is a painting club, and that is the whole point of this show. It is to bring your miniatures that are sitting over there, half painted, unpainted. Maybe they're still on their sprues or whatever, and you're thinking to yourself, when am I ever going to get these things painted? That's what this show's all about. Bring them along, get some paint on it. Do you know what? It doesn't matter if it's no good. It doesn't matter if you think you're no good. Get some paint on it, because you'll only get better by actually having a go. You never know, you might enjoy yourself along the way. That's what I hope anyway. So hopefully you find some inspiration and motivation from here on this show. I know these guys over here do, and there's loads more people that have been watching recently. We've done a phenomenal effort on the subscribers, subscribers. We've got 103, and that's just brilliant. I remember like just the crawl up to 100 took a little while, and all of a sudden we had a burst of subscribers. Thank you so much. It means a lot. It genuinely does. I love this show. It's a part of the same hobby for me now. If I haven't done anything during the week, which I haven't done for the last few weeks, this is a great place for me to, find some time in my week, and I hope you do too, if it's what you're into. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, because every little bit really helps. And while you're at it, push the little thumbs up button down there. By pushing the thumbs up button, it tells other people all about the show. It says that you like it a bit more, you'll see more things like this show, maybe a bit more of me, who knows, hopefully it'll kind of bring a little bit of awareness to other people for Easy 8. That's my goal, that's my dream. So subscribe, thumbs up, you know the drill now. The subscribers, it's brilliant, isn't it? 103, absolutely fantastic, and live during last week's show. Don't forget that if you are painting a project this evening, or if you're working on a project just in general, feel free to put some photos up on Easy 8. Go over to Facebook, there's a little link just down there. The links weren't working a little while ago, so I've just made it some text which you can copy and put into your URL, so that you can get straight on over to Facebook. Hopefully one day I'll solve the problem with the broken link thing, but hey, you can go to Facebook and put some pictures up there. Find the this week's schedule and drop a photo in so that we can all see it. I don't know why the photos don't work on Facebook anymore. They used to under like a little mentions tab, but now you can just add them as a comment to this week's listing, so that we can all see them. You guys have been dropping in loads of photos last week, and there's some fantastic projects going on over there, and I have to shout out to Dave, like, your trenches are looking amazing, so well done on those. Better than I would have ever have done. I'm not just saying that because you're on the telly. And you are on the telly. You're famous now. Sorry, pal. That's just the way it is. So recently people have been saying, hey, we should go on another road trip, and while it's very busy at the moment, it's hard for me to really kind of plan too much at the moment, but another road trip does sound like great fun. So if you want to go on another road trip Easy 8 outing, then let's organise that. Some people have been saying, let's get the most out of our annual tickets to Bovington. I will never get bored of going to the Tank Museum, even though I know pretty much I could walk around map it out with my eyes shut, but it's about going and seeing tanks. And for me and the people that live locally to me here in the community, it's only a short drive away really. For those of you that are a bit further afield, it might be a bit more difficult, but we'll let you know when we're going to go, if you fancy coming along, because it's a great day out and it's got tanks in it, man. What more do you want? Anyway, we don't just have to go to Bovington, there's also the Cobbaton Combat Collection, which is another local one. It's actually very local to me, and it seems to be a bit silly that we haven't visited it as an Easy 8 community, being that it's so close. And because I live here and lots of my friends watch this show, it's a great opportunity to go, so we should try and organise that as well. So put your hands up if you're interested in going to the Cobbaton Combat Collection. Staff did actually send me a link to Cobbaton Combat Collection. Perhaps, Staff, you could be so kind as to drop a link into the Facebook thing, because that would be really cool, so other people can see whether the Cobbaton, it's really hard to say, Cobbaton Combat Collection is worth their visit. Cobbaton is a little town, well, a little village near where we live, and Cobbaton Combat Collection gets difficult to say after your 50th time saying it, especially after your vodka and orange juice is as strong as mine. So yeah, but we don't just have to go there. I can see that Jess just put something in. The Attack game show is coming up mid-July in Devizes. Might be difficult for me to go to, but I'll definitely have a look at it. Devizes is not too far out, if I remember, somewhere in the middle of Somerset. But again, if you've got a link to that, please stick it in the Facebook thing so that everyone can have a little look at it, and we'll talk about what it is that people want to go do and see. Anyway, getting a little news alert there about Boris Johnson. Let's get rid of that. We don't want to talk about politics here. I have been working on some terrain tiles. If you remember, I've done like a little product feature thing on the Animalia Originals terrain tiles. I've been hard at work at it. So that's what I have been working on over the days where I could have been painting. Building terrain tiles. I have a massive pile of them, starting to get ready now for a little bit of sculpting and excuse me, some flocking on them, which is going to be really cool to kind of just bring a little bit of an extra dimension to my games tables. I'm building mine in 15mm, so I'm going to have some 15mm. Oh, got the hiccups. That vodka's done the trick, isn't it? Building my 15mm game, so I'm going to have some 15mm rivers, etc. It's going to catch me out again now. And I'm going to be building some bridges and things like that. Really looking forward to doing that, and I'm looking forward to showing you guys what it is that I've been working on, because the pile is dominating the living room at the moment. And so far my partner's been very good about them being there on top of the freezer. But I have to move them here into the workshop some point soon. And I'm going to do like a whole separate feature on those as well. So that's the terrain tiles from Animalia Originals. I highly recommend having a look into them if you want a new dimension to your games tables. It doesn't take an awful lot to make a small table, and there's some links just down there in the description for the Pit Gaming Store where you can buy them from them, and they'll give you a 15% discount for shopping online through the Pit Gaming Store. Kudos and shout out to Matt and his crew at the Pit Gaming Shop. A wonderful bunch of guys, absolutely incredible store. I've met them several times now, and they are super keen about having a good old shout out on the show. So hey guys, hope you're doing well. Show them some love and go and visit their website, because they deserve it. They're a real nice bunch of guys. If you want to build your own terrain table, you can go to Animalia Originals, and they've got like a 3D viewer where you can drop in the tiles that they do and make. Hi, Mike's just joined us. Oi, oi, nice to see you again, mate. Hope you're doing well. If you want to like three-dimensionally build your own table, you can kind of choose what tiles you want, and then it gives you all the product codes for them. And if you want to take advantage of that 15% discount, head on over to the Pit Gaming Store, put the product codes in, and they will give you your 15% discount. And of course, if you do that, just mention maybe in a little comment or like an email or something to them about Easy 8 and tell them that we sent you there, because it's nice to kind of get that feedback, isn't it? So yeah, really looking forward to doing that. Anyway, let's head back on over to my workbench over here. Don't forget to subscribe, because the show's awesome. And thumbs up, please. Thank you very much. Over to the workbench. I felt very demanding when I said that. Like, do a thumbs up. You do what you want. Don't let me boss you around. You do you, bro. Vodka and clementines. Who knows? Staff says that Sunday the 13th of August is the North Devon Model Show held at the Park School in Barnstable. Pit Game Store will be there. Shut the fridge. That is on our doorstep, and the Pit Game Store are coming down. Oh my goodness, Matt, crew at the Pit Gaming Store. That is about 9 miles away from where I live. So let's get together. Let's go have a beer or something. That would be great. I will bring the crew to you. If I can make it a Sunday, shouldn't be a problem in the middle of August. Saturdays are very difficult in August. It's the peak time for where I work, and Saturdays are very, very busy. Sunday should be really, really easy. That's exciting. Oh, says Jeff. Anyway, it's so hot in here. I'm just going to put my feet back in the water. That cools you right down. Cool, so here's my little dude. Lots of silver patterning over his rust patterns now. Got a little bit heavy in some places, but a bit lighter in others. And I think that I'm actually really quite happy with the level of silver work on him. That's looking really good. I might, go visit some edges here and there, but otherwise looking pretty good. Let's see if I can get in there. Is there anything left on this sponge? No. Okay, cool. So, I wanted to do the head here because the head looks too clean now. Too clean. So, I wanted to look a bit more battered up. So I didn't bother really doing any rust effects on the head up there because it doesn't show up being that it's a black head. Black head. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get a bit of silver on the sponge here. Make sure it's not completely overloaded. And I'll just gently drop some, hoping for some bigger splodges really, some bigger chips. But again, I'll just double dab. Doesn't matter if I get it in the screen because I'm going to paint over that again in a bit anyway. Oops, just dropped him. Caught him now. Do you know, I'm actually going to need just a tiny amount more. It's so warm in here, my paints are just evaporating straight away. Okay, I'm not going to add any water this time, because it can. I added too much water in the last round, and it was just kind of, the sponge was just absorbing it, and it was just turning into a wet sponge. Silver in it. Okay, let's see where this gets us. That's a good splodge right there. Just fade it out a little bit just by touching it with my fingertip, making sure that I don't put that fingertip on anything else. You get a really big, stark blob of silver. You can just push it and it just sort of fades it out or blends it out like that there. Put my finger on it. Just sort of pushes it down a little bit. It's gone a bit too far there, so I might come in with a little bit of black in a minute and just do my weathering pattern over the top of it in black. It might just sort of hide that down. Okay, I found out where all that paint is lit. Look at that. That's kind of ruined it a little bit, isn't it? Let's find that paint on the sponge and just get rid of it. Trying to just pick up the edge of the screen there a little bit, because it'll look quite nice. Highlighted a little. Right, just go to the brush. I didn't change my paint water in the intermission because I knew that I'd be coming straight back to silver, and I've got loads of sparkles in the water anyway, so I didn't see fit to do it. Sorry, I know that that'll make some of you angry. Change paint water, you tell us to do it. Yeah man, it's just something that I say, alright? There we go. It's looking quite cool, right? I think that looks a little bit better than this one. So people are asking me what you're going to paint this one when it's done. I think I'm going to do the same as the other one. I'll just try and improve on it, make it a little bit better. Link for Cobbaton, brilliant. A Cobbaton link just gone in there, has it? Wonderful, thank you very much. They have guns for sale, by the way. I don't need another hobby. Thank you. Clean your palette. No. Do you know, actually, there was someone on YouTube, I forget who it was, I was just kind of scrolling through the other day. I think it might have been Eons of Battle. Check them out, they're great, even if it's not the right channel. Where they were saying about their palette and it was looking all grubby, is never get it grubby, because it's texture and it allows you to see your paints and the way that maybe if you're watering them down, if they flow around some of the details, you can kind of see the right consistencies. Just prime it grey. So you're always going back over the top. You're always going to be cleaning your palette otherwise, but if you kind of go grey, then it kind of resets your palette colour again, which I thought was a great idea. Oh, that is a strong drink. Yikes. Right, I just want to tame these big blotches down here. Do you see those big blotches where I went a bit heavy with the sponge? So I'm just going to get some black paint out, and I'm just going to do the patterning effect that I was doing with the rust, but just with this colour nice and quick. Just drop it in there. Just going to dull that down a little bit because it's a bit excessive there. Not covering up all of it, I want some of it to stick around. It's looking better already. Nice, nice. Getting pretty close to being done with this guy. If I can get some time over the next few days, which I hope to do actually. I hope to actually have him finished this week. If I don't have him finished this week, I think you guys have seen me do this guy enough. You guys have seen me do this guy. I've been doing this too much on the show, so I'm going to change it hopefully for next week. I think I should. If you've got any opinions of what you'd like to see me doing next, that's cool. I'd like to carry on with my 40k for a little bit. Like I said, I want to be doing 40k as much as I can this year before I get bored of it, of course. Because it's my 41st year around the sun, and it's the 41st millennium, so I think that I should. Yeah. I'd like to do one of the walkers. I like the walkers, the Iron Striders. They look really cool. They were one of the things that really attracted me to doing this army. Right. Well, got half an hour left of the show, so what I'm going to start doing, I think, is just start getting on with that screen. I didn't expect to be doing the screen today, but that's okay. Really plan my shows like that. One of my palettes is about ½ inch thick. It's getting heavy. Yeah, man, I don't have time to clean my palette. I'll just spray it every now and then. Right. Okay. So I'm just going to be using some dark green. This is just simple dark green from Vallejo. You can see it there. My light shining on it. Dark green. Yeah, lovely. It's actually a really nice colour. And I just apply a couple of layers of this. Let it dry, which won't take very long to do, obviously, in this room. And it just creates that sort of background, old-fashioned computer screen. Do you know what I mean? Like something from the 1980s. I remember when I was a kid, and Jeff might be able to remember being my dad. We used to have like an old-fashioned calculator that lit up with green numbers, and I just remember as a tacker, as a little toddler, being really fascinated by the green glow. And even though like the screen wasn't glowing, the numbers were glowing, the background to it all was this dark green screen, and just trying to kind of create that sort of aesthetic on these little monitors, these little faceplates. Really big, old-fashioned, clunky calculator, and the on and off switch was a metal toggle switch, and you have to like click, click. Not the toggle switch which you have to push up and down, but like a slider. I don't know why I was fascinated with it. It was the colour. I was a strange child. Yeah. Trying to keep the pattern here, the texture of the paint quite thin. And I remember the last time I did this, I was using like mediums and things just to kind of thin it down, allow it to flow around a little bit more. And looking back on it, that might have all been a little bit for nothing really. I am getting a little bit of texture in it because it's drying so quickly in here. I'm not able to spread it out. So what I'll do is I'll get a little bit of medium. I'll just put a drop in it. It's just a simple bit of Lamy and medium. They make really good medium, quite like it. And that is just moving around a little bit freer now. Quite a bit freer really. Because it's not dragging, it's not drying straight away, I'm not leaving brush marks in it. Giving me a nice sort of glassy aesthetic, because I want it to be a screen, right? Much smoother. Now what I did on this one is I put a slightly lighter green in there, and just the light's going to shine on the gloss. Kind of made it look a little bit more like lit. I actually quite prefer the darker green in there, but it is so dark that it does blend in with the black a little bit too much. But I wonder how many coats of this I can use to make that dark green stand out a bit more. Maybe I need to add a drop of lighter green into it. So if I use the light green to do the targeting reticle on there, on that dark green there, it'll really show, I think. Mike says, I'm not painting tonight, I'm cleaning my new electric airbrush. A lot more parts to it than I expected. I don't know what I was going to say there. You showed me a picture the other day online, didn't you? So one of those handheld battery-fed compressor airbrushes, and you said that you've had really good results with it. That's really interesting. Do you reckon it's got lots of longevity? Do you reckon you can carry on using it and get really good results out of it, or is it more just for kind of doing, sort of base work and larger areas quickly? Fascinating though. You should try a gloss varnish or medium first. It will give the green a bit more punch to it. or medium first. Yeah, okay, cool. Do you know what? I'm going to do that. I'll add just a drop of gloss varnish into it. And just see what that does for it. Why not? Give it a go. That's a drop of gloss. I'll add a drop of dark green into it. Pretty much used everything in there at the moment. There we go. Mix it up, mix it up. Because the varnish is got like it's like a white colour. It has changed the colour of the green a little bit, but I wonder if I start painting it on, that'll not be an issue. Let's find out. See how quickly that's drying already? Mental. A lot of brush strokes in there, which is what I was using the medium for the last time, was to help eliminate those brush strokes. But I'll let that dry for a minute. What I think I did the last time was I just sort of dropped a couple of drops of the gloss varnish onto the screen, and yeah, that was quite useful because it just kind of runs in self levels. Oh, it's so warm. It's been very hot at work as well today. It's been finding it very difficult to concentrate and focus. And a bit moody in all this heat. I don't really like it. I don't do well in the heat. Very British of me, I know, but what can you do? I appear to be missing a green. Oh no, I'm not. There it is. That's what I'm looking for. So sick green is the colour. I think added like 50-50 to that of the dark green. So again, I'm just going to find another spot on the palette there. Make sure that's clean. Good. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add. I'll just put a good old drop of that in there, and a good old drop of dark green. Put the two together. See what colour that gives me. I think I did that the last time, was just to sort of just bring a bit of vibrance really to the colour, just enhance that green a little bit. Mike says, I reckon it'll do the trick, maybe upgrade the brush part in the future, but for now I don't know, no different. Yeah, fair enough, and do you know what, if you're getting on with it, there's no need, is there? If it's doing the jobs that you want it to, good for you. Nice purchase. Boldly made. That's certainly a little bit more vibrant than the other colour. Stuff says, so I have another Yak Panther complete now. Of course you do! Going to add a bit of medium to this paint so that it flows around nicely. There we go. That's nice. What I like about the medium is it doesn't discolour at all. See, that dark green does show up, it's too subtle, right? Got a bit of debris in that paint. checked the screen there for a while. I didn't know if I was actually in the shot or not. Bit patchy. What I'll do is I'll just dry the bristles out, and I'll just go in and absorb some of the dollops so that it doesn't dry lumpy. In a minute I'll give it another coat. I'll let that dry, which is drying pretty quickly already. Let that dry, and go over with another coat, and that should hopefully just stop that from looking so patchy. Compare it to that one there. It's looking pretty close, isn't it? Pretty close in the colours. Trying to stop the light from shining on it so much. That's looking, that's looking pretty good. That is. Trying to take that colour right up to the edge though, because it does show up if you don't do it. That's better. But I won't do it anymore because it's drying, and I'm going to leave brush marks in it. I'll just keep cleaning my brush out. I'm going to need a bigger box of stuff. Yeah. Of course you are. You've got half of their map in your Cheers. That is going to put me to sleep tonight. Oh. It's almost dry already. I'm going to have to get some aircon up here or something. Had a shower before the show. I'm going to have a post-show shower as well. It's not what I expected. Staff thing you should do now. Do all your tanks in German camo. Yeah, that would look awesome. Did all the the stripy patterns and all the Dunkel Gill dots. That would look really cool. You should do that. Right. Almost dry there. Okay. One more pass over with that colour, that medium in it. There we go. It's actually a little bit brighter than that one there. Quite a bit brighter actually. So I might go back on it a little bit and do a little wash over with the dark green again. I must have had like the ratio mix a little different. Doesn't look bad, just a little bit brighter. As you can see that the it's probably quite as bright as the actual reticle on this one here. I don't want it to be that bright. But I don't mind like playing with the colours and the saturations of colours and the hues and things. I quite enjoy that process. Just trying to find the thing that looks the best, you know. But again, just going to let that dry. What I might do is just turn the compressor on here. Can you hear me now? You are now on the backup microphone. I don't know what happened there. There must have been some sort of glitch. Maybe the computer overheated just fractionally there while there was stuff going on. Like I said just a minute ago, I hit the compressor and the screen just went blank. I apologise for the interruption in your audio pleasure. I was just saying that it's the just saying it's the end of the show anyway, so it's not like we're missing out on too much. That was a little bit weird. It's not done that before, has it? I just turned the compressor off and the screen just flashed black for a second. Anyway, we're back here, aren't we? All I was talking about was just adding a bit of gloss to the screen on the robot here, and I'm just going to do that by adding a big drop of medium to the gloss, which will allow me to make it flow on really smooth. Gloss varnish fills in all the microscopic lumps and bumps that are on the surface that you're painting on, and makes it smooth, which gives it its shininess. So that smooth surface is really good for applying decals or painting on the top of, which of course I wanted to paint like a little target reticle. So gloss at this stage not only will give me a screen, like a glass screen, but will also allow me a good canvas to paint the reticule on. But I'm not going to paint that reticule tonight because it's so hot. I am sweaty and I want some still hands for it. So do you see those big white splodges? That's just where it's pooling up. So just going to move them around a little bit. The reason I've got the medium in the mix is to keep it flowing so that it doesn't start dragging, etc. Brush out, and I'll just let that dry for a second. If I start seeing it pool up a little bit, then I can just try and pick it out with the bristles, but quite keen just to let that go for a minute while I've got some air in the airbrush. Just trying to encourage it to dry a little. Oh, what a warm evening. I've still yet to do the effects on the hands, and that's right, that's something I'll do over the next couple of days. What I did with the hands, as you can see, there's loads of knuckle streaks on there. I have done like a little bit of rusting effect in the background, and though I think that the silver dominates that, you can't really see it. I think that if I didn't have it in there, maybe it would look different. So I don't know if I need to do rust on the dark red, because the red is so dark. It's quite difficult to see where that rust effect is. So I don't know what you guys think. What's your take on that? Do you think that I need to do rust effects on the red, or should I just go straight in on the silver? Of course, I still haven't done the insides of the hands like I've done on this bad boy here. So yeah, I still need to pull my finger out there. I've been lazy these last couple of weeks, haven't I? So lazy. Anyway, we're getting there. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer the one with the machine gun? Do you prefer the one with the giant flamethrower? I don't know. I think a machine gun is pretty cool, but flamethrowers are also awesome. But which one do you like the effects on the most? I think I've gone a little heavier on the silver on the legs on this one, but I've generally kept the whole thing a little bit keyed back, a little bit dialed back, because you can see like there's a lot of heavy weathering on this guy's legs down there, where on this one much tamer all the way around. This one's got brighter orange patches as well. This one's got like more of a sort of a washed out brown all over it. But I like that variety. And if I'm unhappy with a lot of this silver work here, just like I did with the black on the head, is I can just come in and just sort of dial back that brown. You know, the show's not over. There are a couple of patches where I think it does look cool, but it is just kind of a little bit too much again. So yeah, Mike says, chipped paint is one thing, but rust is heresy. Fighting a war mate, don't have time to deal with all that stuff. Staff says, right gentlemen, I'm off. Thanks for another productive evening. You're welcome. Nice to see you again. Thanks for coming along. Have a good week, mate. Jeff says, I've had 3 windows open in the workshop, but it's just warm air blowing in. Yeah, opening your windows is... it's just suicide, isn't it? Because you're just letting hot air in. I've got little blackout blinds on the. I've got skylights here. Stops the sun kind of coming in too much. I've got the windows cracked just a little bit to allow a bit of breeze through. But it's just so warm and stuffy. And yeah, I've just got a fan on for about an hour before the show starts, just trying to circulate that air around. But you know, can't change the weather. Maybe I should just see if I can install some aircon or something in here. Anyway, I'm going to come away from the bench here because it's that time of day, isn't it? Where are we? Here we go. Another productive evening. It does feel like I'm miles and miles away from finishing it, but I know that actually the end is just around the corner. And unless I get loads and loads of stuff done on it over the next couple of days where I could finish it on the show next week, I'm probably looking to doing another project next week. If you've got something in mind that you think that you'd like to see me doing on the show, whether it would be like more Tyranids, maybe like to see more of the Adeptus Mechanicus, or maybe like to see some more of my tanks being done on the show. If you've got an opinion on that, just pop it over on Facebook. Let me know what you think, and yeah, we can have a chat about it. But for now, I think I'm at the end of the show because it is so warm. I'm just going to repeat myself now. It's just so warm in here, and I just don't deal very well in the heat. So I'm going to call it a night there. I'm going to pop on over the Discord just for a brief chat if anyone's going to hang around over there. But after a few minutes, I'm going to retire for the evening. I've got a wedding to go to tomorrow, which is going to be lovely and warm. So I'm going to go and get an early night for that as well. Anyway, in the meantime, you guys have been great. My name's been Danny. This has been Easy 8. And until next week, stay safe, be kind, keep on painting. And I'll see you all guys very, very soon. Take care now. Bye-bye. Clementine juice, not orange juice. Just trust me.